Everyone, welcome back to the All Music Matters That podcast. I'm your host, Brian. Joining me today is a special guest hailing from Finland, Alexander Lehtinen. How you doing, brother?
I'm good. How are you, Brian?
I'm doing good, and I guess it's past your bedtime since it's a 7-hour difference, right, in Finland?
Yeah.
Well, for one thing, it's cold out here too, so I don't know how cold it is in Finland at the moment, but uh, in the heart of winter. So I guess how bad is it in Finland right now?
I think there was today -6 Celsius, so not
Only
not
six
that
else,
bad.
only -6.
Yeah.
All right. And a big shout out to Ash Wells because you were actually featured on his Drum Radar series, and that's how I found out about you too. So,
Yeah. That was surprise for me, but it was nice surprise. Nice surprise. It's kind of.
yep. So, welcome to my podcast here, Alex. And the way that this works is we just like to get to know you more as a drummer and as an individual too. So, just going to ask you some simple questions right here. And we're actually going to switch it up a little bit because while we were messaging back and forth, you were interested in learning more about the States and some of the sports as well. So, here's what we'll do. I'll ask you 5 questions that I got on my list right here. Then once I'm done, I'll turn it over to you, and you ask me 5 questions. So, sound fair?
Yeah.
All right. So, first question. Tell us a little bit about yourself. How did you become a drummer?
Um, I started playing when I was 9. Um, I'm now 26 years old. When I was in elementary school, a couple of my friends in school introduced me some old heavy metal bands, and I started to listen to those bands little by little and got interested of music. My father also introduced me some bands he listened when he was young, and I started to listen to those bands and little by little get into music. And in the third grade, there was a chance to get drumming classes, and I was interested in to try them. And I became more interested playing the drums and took more classes. And when I was in fifth grade, my father bought me a drum kit after I had quite desperately asked for it many times. So yeah, after all, he agreed.
I was going to say, was it a Christmas present or was it for your birthday?
Uh, I think it was Christmas.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah,
And to also fill in our audience, Alex is looking over some notes because we're trying to get over the language barrier too. Looks like you've been
yeah,
taking English for a good while now.
yeah. I was practicing quite a lot of, especially my this pronunciation. What is it? Accent.
The English accent. Okay,
Yeah, I tried to get that American accent.
sounds good though. You're doing good.
Yeah,
All right. That's why he's
yeah,
looking over. That's why he's looking off to the side. So that way people don't get suspicious right here.
yeah,
I know that's normally people make that looks. It makes it look like there's a little cheating going on or something like that. So
yeah, yeah.
I don't know. Are you cheating on your math test right now?
Exactly.
Okay, you're all good though. All right. Uh, talk about your drum set. What kind of brand is it, and is it electric or acoustic?
Um, I have it's acoustic drum kit. Uh, I have Gretsch Brooklyn drum kit with blue oyster color or finish, and it has 13-inch rack tom, 16-inch floor tom, and 18-inch floor tom. I think those are 16 by 16 and 18 by 16.
Oh, that's pretty sweet. And is this the kit you've
Yeah.
been rolling with for a good while, or if you've always had this one?
Um, I have had this uh, drum kit 5 years now. Um,
It gets the job done. So yeah,
yeah.
yeah, sounds good. All right. So, here's an interesting one for you. What do you love most about drumming?
I think I love the feeling when you challenge yourself and find something new. Yeah, I like the feeling when you figure out something new. Yeah, I've been practicing for years, spending quite a lot of hours rehearsing, but I still actually don't know much about playing drums. I could say I don't know anything about drums. That's a feeling I love the most about drumming. That allows me to experience something new every time I play or rehearse.
Okay. And some of the other things that I mentioned whenever people talk about what they love about drumming, there's a sense of therapy involved with it, but it's also a nice workout with it too. I guess, what sort of music do you play in your covers and music that you listen to a lot? It's probably not going to be on your notes. I think this one just got threw out center field
Yeah,
there. So,
yeah. I listen a lot of different type of music and mostly rock and hard rock and 80s stuff like hair metal and yeah. And I have musical education background, so I listen also sometimes jazz and fusion, uh, just stuff like that.
a little bit of everything. So, yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny when you mentioned hair metal too, because you got the nice hairdo going right there. So,
Oh yeah, it's
is it,
been almost years since I was getting a haircut.
I don't know. I'm in need of one right too, because mine's starting to get all messed up and everything. It's a pretty bad mess
Okay.
climbing out of bed. So,
Yeah.
you can see what I mean. All right. And the last one here, let's talk about your YouTube channel a little bit. I guess, when did you start it, and what do you hope to achieve with it?
I started making drum videos in autumn 2021, and I rented my own training room for a year, and I already, I already had the drums, but so I bought some drum mic set and a sound card, and first I recorded with my iPhone the video footage. I mean, but little by little I bought some more mics and video camera, and now I don't have a place where to record, but we made new drum covers with my sister at the turn of the year. I had chance to record in one place. And when those are edited, I have no idea when is the next time I can continue this drum covers. But I've been thinking studios too, but those are quite expensive, and I'm not sure if it's worth. But I think yeah, I think I'm aiming for the long haul.
Okay. Sorry about yours still going there. Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. And you actually started doing vlogs on yours recently. I guess what made you want to do those?
Uh, Actually, I wanted to practice my English more by doing those, and just wanted to share a bit of my life. And yeah,
The perspective of Finland too, yeah. Especially,
yeah,
I did see that one. It was a nice little walk around the mall, and then I want to say it was like a Thai or a Chinese restaurant. I forget which place you went into, but afterwards, then you went to the gym, library. You kind of were around here and there for a nice 10 to
yeah,
15 minute video too. So That was interesting. Which part of Finland are you in, actually?
Uh, I live in Espoo. It's quite close to Helsinki. Maybe 8 kilometers. How many miles is that?
Uh, I wanna say it's always like half, or like, because
Yeah,
it might actually be 5 miles, maybe. That's my guess. So you're part of that whole Helsinki area too. So I see.
yeah.
All right. So I asked those questions right there. So what would you like to know about the states and any sports?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Can you tell about baseball? How is?
Baseball.
Yeah,
The city I live in, Pittsburgh. It's it's always a good sports city, but baseball team the last few decades have not been the greatest. They've had some playoff runs here and there, but baseball, if there's not a whole lot of action, the game gets boring pretty quick. So you want your pitchers doing very well, but you also want your hitters getting on base, scoring a lot of runs, if all that makes sense. I don't know. How big is baseball in Finland?
uh, not very big. I guess ice hockey is here the main thing.
For the obvious reason that it's mostly cold 9 times out of 10, or
Yeah,
9 times out of the year, so I can see why.
yeah,
But you're right next to Russia, too, so you guys kind of share that hockey lineage, for lack of a better term, so I can see why.
yeah.
It's all right. Me and my dad, we used to go down, enjoy it. It's actually a nice little, we call it a package. So it was like tickets for like 10 games, and then they bumped up to 20 games, and that was too much then, so we just stopped doing it altogether. But what we used to do with 10 games, it allowed us just to go down. We just went to bars and stuff, just ate and drank out of our minds right there, and then just went to the game a little bit and got some more beer here and there. So it's fun, but like I said, there's not a whole lot of action. It can get pretty boring, so that's the downside of baseball. So
Yeah,
it's about as best I can give you. I don't know how much you know about any of the rules or anything too, or what works here and there.
I can say I know very little, but
Learning as we're going along. So,
yeah.
do they play any baseball games on Finnish cable? Show a little international sports.
Oh, I don't have TV.
Oh no, no TV. He's got to rely on the computer and the phone.
Yeah,
So, all right.
I actually have TV, but I have TV network. I don't have TV network. I mean, yeah.
Okay, I see.
So I don't use it at all.
Okay, fair enough. Okay. Guess what else would you like to know?
Mm. So you are in Pittsburgh. In which state it is
Pittsburgh.
located? Yeah.
Oh, he's getting better. He's getting better. Sorry about the you were finishing your sentence there, but it's in the state of Pennsylvania, and at least trying to explain it to you because it's not too far off the Atlantic Ocean coastline. So you just gotta go inward a little bit, just past one state, and then you'll run into it. You'll run to Philadelphia first, and then you're going more westward. So it's in the westward part of the state. Talk to maybe southwestward state, if that makes sense. So
Oh, yeah.
I live in that area. Born and raised.
Yeah.
Can never complain about it.
Okay. How is the football scene there?
By football, do you mean soccer, or you talking about
No. The football.
the American football? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, we have what's called Steeler Nation, and we have a global presence, to say the least. So we're pretty well known, and fans, they love their football. We have what's called the terrible towels. It's these small yellow towels. We just wave them around, and I think it started way back in the 70s. I think somebody introduced it, and then it just became a gag that we always ran with. So it's always something we bring there. And this year was actually a surprise because our star quarterback, he had retired last year, so we had anticipated a losing season this year. But we actually came back and we finished above. It's called finishing above 500, where if you have like a even record, say 8-8, it's like it all ties out. So basically, we didn't finish below a losing record, so it was all good in the end. We missed getting into the playoffs just because of one game, and it bites. But people here, they love all the sports. So, and football, it's all great and everything too, but that's just Steeler Nation. Everywhere else, some nice surprises here and there. I mean, it was good to see the city of Jacksonville make it, actually do a nice little upset in the wild card game. So, I mean, we can go into depth. Do you want me to keep going into depth about football, or?
Yeah. I guess it's the next question. Have you ever been in Massachusetts?
Massachusetts?
Yeah.
You know, I have not, but I actually got family that lives up there. And actually, my sister and brother-in-law, they went to Fenway Park in Boston, Massachusetts. And they actually saw, it's called the Winter Classic. That's when they play hockey games outside, like the traditional style, like how it used to be. And they did that at Fenway Park. It was funny too because they were sitting in an area that was like way out of like scene range. You probably had to like see with binoculars just to get any glimpse of the action going on there. But Massachusetts, I've heard good things about it. It sounds pretty nice. I kind of wish I would like to get to Boston one of these days. And at Fenway Park, there's what's called the Green Monster. It's this giant wall in the baseball stadium, and people have been known to hit home runs over it, but you always got to be careful because sometimes even those sharp line drives that sometimes would be home runs in other ballparks, it wouldn't be in this case since it's like towering very high. So you got to see how it goes, and sometimes what should be a double in terms like you take two bases in baseball terms sometimes turns into a single where you take one base. So I hope that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's a lot to take in.
I guess like you have to be careful you don't get ball in your head.
Well, that too, yeah.
I understood what wrong.
Well, hopefully you did. I was trying to explain it, but in terms of the ball, like hitting this wall, for instance, it get bounced off usually in any direction. So.
Yeah.
So, hope that makes sense. All right.
Yeah.
All right, and
I was just Massachusetts because I just did read Joe Perry's autobiography, and he was living in Massachusetts, I guess, pretty long time. I guess he still lives there. I can't remember, but yeah. That's.
What was his name?
Yeah.
What was his name?
Joey Perry.
Joey Perry. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I was just trying to make sure I remember the name, but
the guitar player of Aerosmith.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There's too many Perrys, that's the thing, so you gotta make sure you know who's which. So
yeah.
Massachusetts is actually a pretty small state compared to like what you see its next door neighbor with New York, or even above it with Vermont and New Hampshire. So let's still go in. It's, in terms of history, it's one of the original 13 colonies. So, and that's really where a lot of the action pretty much happened and how it all started for the American Revolution. So it's pretty well known. So there's a whole lot of history to learn behind it if you ever want to visit.
Yeah, I think there's a lot to see.
Okay. And you got one more, so I guess anything with the states or anything with sports?
Um, no. Have you ever been in Hawaii? Uh,
Ever been in Finland? Or, I'm sorry, I didn't hear the question too well.
yeah. Have you ever been in Hawaii, like the tropic area?
I don't
Or
think I
is
have,
it?
no. I think in terms of tropics, I've been to, if you're talking like in Florida or the Caribbean, for instance, I've been there, but not really a whole lot of tropical places. But I know Hawaii was another tropical place that my parents actually went to. Would actually like to go out there, but it was Hawaii. Nah, not really anywhere tropical. I tell you, as most tropical as I've been, it's been Florida. So, and that's always been nice because it's actually still warm this time of the year too. It's the best time to actually go this time because in the summer it gets really scorching hot, and you have on top of humidity, it's not a good mix. Needless to say, you're going to be not be able to walk outside for very long unless you're adjusted to that sort of weather. So, I hope that answers it. But
Yeah.
so, all right.
Yeah. I was watching your videos to those videos where you what's the Q&A videos.
Oh,
I think there was
it was my Q&A videos.
Q.
It was actually a little travel vlog that I did, and then it was really, I breezed through the questions pretty good. So just to kind of get it within the 15-minute range, I throw those in a little bit. So I figured it was at least something. I'm thinking of throwing those on my Patreon page, so and see if other people can notice it. But the ones I had mentioned, they're called the Canyonlands. So that one was all in the States, but it was in the southwest part of it. So there was Arizona, Utah, and Nevada. So a good chunk of the trip was mostly in Arizona. Then there was a couple stops in Utah, and then we finished in Las Vegas, Nevada, which is the gambling center, or as the nickname they give it is Sin City.
Yeah.
So, and then the recent one I did was Louisville up till Nashville. So I'm not sure how long that one's gonna be. I might just get maybe 4 more videos out of that one, maybe. So I'll have to see how it goes. So
Yeah, I think I did watch 3 of those Q&A videos.
okay.
Yeah. So that's why I wanted to hear more about states because those were interesting videos.
I guess if you ever do want to come to the States, I would say come to Florida this time of the year. You will enjoy it. There's always 70 to 80 degree weather. And then everywhere else is really pretty much, it's cool, for instance, but it's not like frigid cold like how Finland is. Unless you come up north. So you'll get used to living in the state I'm in too. So you at least would get used to the winter time out here too. So, all right. So I guess just to kind of get back into some of my questions, and then if you have any other ones afterwards, I guess let me try like 5 more, then we'll see where we go from there. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So I didn't ask what brand are your sticks, your drumsticks.
I use rephrase and the budget version of rephrase called Nova. I use rock model because it's a bit longer than 2B stick, and it's almost, the thickness is almost the same, and that's great for developing strength and endurance for hands. Those are just like marching sticks because they are thick and long. And at least here in Europe, I guess you can find them almost every music shop. So that's a one great thing to about these sticks. But I usually buy a bigger batch. These ones, so they last more than a 1 year.
Hmm.
This way, I can save little on costs, and I don't have to worry if one stick breaks suddenly.
Okay, I see. No, good
Yeah.
choice. And I actually roll with Vic Firth too. Did you ever experiment with any other sticks like Promark, Collision, Vader?
I have tried Wader's Chad Smith model. That was a great stick.
But I guess speaking of Chad Smith, and this leads into the next question. Who would you consider has been your biggest influence? And if you got any others, just list them off as well.
Uh, Influences. I guess I like classic drummers, like classic rock drummers. Uh, like John Bonham, Keith Moon, stuff, drummers like that. And then I like a bit more modern drummers like Travis Barker, uh, Chad Smith.
You did say hair metal, so I wasn't sure if you had any others from any of those groups. Like, I want to say Vinnie Paul because that's what they used to be from Pantera.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Well, that's what they were originally, but then they started moving away from that. They went then to the more like the late '80s sort of look too, with the blue jeans and the jackets and all that stuff. Look more like something out of a motorcycle gang or something. But originally, that's what they were going with because that's what they grew up with as their heroes. I guess you could also throw in Van Halen too if you wanted to. You like Alex Van Halen as a drummer?
Yeah, yeah. I guess he uses quite long drumsticks. Okay, well, whatever.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
you got to make ends meet. That's for sure. It's a big set too. I mean, you got to, like I said, you got to make ends meet. So, uh,
yeah.
I guess, were you ever part of any bands, or I guess is there any sort of experiences you've had?
Yeah. I played in a few bands. Those were mostly those were cover bands and bands that made their own music. But unfortunately, those bands were my thing. There was musical disagreements, like there is almost in every band, unfortunately. But I'm still open for that band chance. But I think might see myself more as a session musician or creating my own music. Uh, yeah,
Okay.
being just a regular, it doesn't fulfill my creative needs enough.
I see. Yeah, I know. So that's all good. And normally that's how it starts off. And cover bands seem to be what you originally like to get into, unless you know like a good number of friends from like school, for instance, and you just get together and you start jamming a lot more. But normally that's how it starts off. You start off playing, in this case, your heroes. You start covering like their work, and eventually you try branching off. Because I know I've heard like stories from the thrash metal band Slayer. That's how they started off. Then eventually, before they start jumping into their own little dark material, so it's a good start. So hopefully, at some point, you'll be able to get into a nice group and make some killer music. Let's see. So we did kind of talk about some of the gear you use. I guess, how do you make a drum cover? Walk us through it.
Uh, yeah, I could talk about the gear too.
Sure.
If you if we have time.
Yeah, we got plenty of time. Trust me. Go ahead.
Yeah, I have a sound card, Behringer, just with ADAT extension that allows me a little more inputs, and I also have different type of mics. Most of them are cheap budget mics, but I also have and audit set. Uh, yeah, I use Reaper. I guess some people say it's the best DAW available, except Pro Tools.
That's industry standard, but Reaper's okay. I've heard a couple of people say it was okay, but me specifically, I use Logic. I guess. Did you say what you use in terms of editing?
Uh, yeah, I use Reaper also editing.
I meant video wise. Sorry. What do you use for
Uh,
video editing? Sorry.
I have DaVinci Resolve.
Okay, that's pretty cool. All right. And is it mostly just you, or does your sister help out?
Yeah, my it's mostly me, but sometimes my sister helps me uh, recording.
Okay.
She did a great job with video camera last time when we shoot videos, and yeah,
Does she tend to like move it around a lot, or does she just like keep it nice and steady?
um, I told her just like it. I told her she can move it around and just shake it too if she wants.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
cool. All right. So the reason I
yeah.
asked, do you know Eric, the dramatic?
Dramatic. Yeah, I have seen Addict Drums. Those.
His wife moves the is one of the camera angles, and she moves it around a good bit too. So that's why I asked if she does something similar too. So that's interesting.
Yeah.
All right. So for this other question, and this one I'm curious because I haven't heard too many things out of Finland, but it's more related to COVID. So how bad did COVID impact you, your family, and community?
Uh, I was quarantined a few weeks at home, but I guess I never got COVID. Even I was sick a couple of times during that period. I took the vaccinates and used mask, so I guess I'm quite lucky because that times it felt very dark and there was not that much sign about future. Um, Shops were closed, bars were closed, pretty much everything was closed.
It's almost like the zombie apocalypse sort of movie going on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I guess was Finland pretty strict in terms of restrictions?
Yeah, it was pretty strict. I guess when I was quarantined, there was even so you might get a fine if you break those rules, like like or go to the jail.
Go to jail. Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
That's just great. All right. Sounds good. But I guess, did COVID allow you to expand into social media and YouTube? Maybe some sort of blessing in disguise?
Yeah, I guess because during that times there was no gigs and anything. So I guess COVID might did actually inspire, not inspire. What is the right word for that? But yeah, it kind of inspired me to start my YouTube channel because there was no future about gigs or bands.
There's a lot of uncertainty, yeah. I can see what you mean, yeah. Okay. Good to see. Came out strong with it too, and good to have you along on this YouTube journey here, Alex. So, I guess I'll jump it back to you. I guess what other questions did you have in terms of the states or sports,
Um,
or if you
More
want to?
questions.
Well, I guess if you have anything else you can ask, I just didn't know if you had any more about the states or sports.
Do you like bourbon?
That's Kentucky, yeah, but yeah, I've drinking bourbon, Jim Beam to be exact. Yeah, Jim Beam seems to be the biggest brand. I guess have you had it before?
Uh, yeah, I had that last last autumn. Mm, I've been now 2 months without alcohol,
Oh,
so that might explains a little bit
I see.
about my yeah.
I guess did you have a problem with alcohol before?
Uh, mm, Actually, not that big, but I just feel like I just sort of feel like I don't want one drink.
Okay, I see.
Yeah,
No, that's a good choice.
I want to have a break, just maybe 1 year or something. I don't know.
Keep it in moderation. That's the best thing you can do. Because I tend to like it when I'm with a crowd, for instance. I don't know if you're the same way, or are you able to drink one on your own?
Uh, Unfortunately, I am.
Oh, okay, I see. No,
Yeah,
that's fine. That's fine. All right.
yeah,
Well, I guess congratulations on being sober for 2 months.
yeah,
So hopefully, hopefully everything's all good for you going forward. So got you in my
yeah.
prayers. So all right. Uh, got another one. I'm
Another
liking this.
one.
I'm liking
Uh,
this. So here we go.
uh, I guess you. I was watching some details there. I guess you started in 2019.
I believe so, and that's what I might say. But I've always felt like I was more committed during the pandemic. So that's when I started doing a lot more drum covers. I might have created it. I just let it sit there until I decided, like, you know what, let's post a drum cover and then let's see where it goes. So it actually ended up being a Bolt Throwers song, "No Guts, No Glory." It was that was my first drum cover I did, so
Okay.
felt fitting.
Yeah.
After that, it stuck with drum covers for a good while, and then I realized this wasn't getting me anywhere. So, long story short, just had to really diversify and try to do something a little bit different. So I tried vlogging, and then eventually got into podcasting here. Now I'm just trying to figure out anything else in between. So eventually, when we get to the monetizing and 1,000 subscriber mark, we'll see how we look after that words. So here's hoping.
I hope you reach that soon.
I have it set for my New Year's resolution to get to it at the end of this year. So here's hoping. So there we
Yeah,
go. All right.
that was stupid.
No, you're good. You got the fist. There we
I'm
go.
I'm trying to be not too annoying.
No, you're good. You're good. I understand it. It's a little bit hard because I guess you only been doing English for what, a couple years now.
Yeah,
So
my definitely. I have intermediate or beginner level English. I guess.
don't worry.
Yeah.
We'll put the disclaimer in the video in the beginning here so people at least know. So you're good.
Yeah.
Let's keep going. What you got?
Um. I saw you that your drum covers. Those were thrash metal, I guess. And metal. Was that Gojira or some other band?
I think the Gojira one, that was a live footage. I think that's what you saw.
Oh yeah, yeah. I my
But
was my mixed in my head.
No, you're good. But the most recent one, yes, was Thrash. That was Death Angel. And to date, it is my longest drum cover, and one I'm actually pretty proud I was able to get down. The Ultra Violence was the name of it. I think they were the only band I've done from the Thrash. Actually, no, I take it back. Sorry. I've done Anthrax too. So Anthrax and Death Angel. I would like to get some Slayer in there and some Metallica here and there in terms of the thrash scene, but I've done mostly metal. So I've done more bolt thrower, if anything. But one of the things I mentioned in my Q&A was I wanted to get back into doing Silverstein because I did like half of their album, and now I want to kind of finish the other half and then get that out of the way. I got a lot of drum covers in mind. I just got to figure out the dates and like which ones I want to do first. Plus, I got a couple collaborations in the work. So, busy schedule ahead of me. So,
sounds really cool. Do I have questions left?
there was some fun questions, I guess. You want to jump into those ones?
Yeah.
All right. So, the first one. What is your favorite alcoholic drink? Whatever you indulge every now and again.
My favorite alcoholic drink. What could I say? Maybe vodka or whiskey or.
You mentioned bourbon earlier, so I was curious.
Or just beer.
I see.
Yeah.
I guess all types of beer too, but you struck me as a Miller Lite guy. I thought you would have been a Miller Lite guy, to be honest. So.
Yeah. Miller beers, like them.
Okay.
Just basic stuff.
Sounds good. And favorite non-alcoholic drink?
I drink quite a lot of energy drinks. So maybe just some. I don't know if you have this in America.
Was it?
Or in States. It is this Nocco. I have no idea where this brand is from, but I drink these quite often. So maybe this.
I mean, it's probably a local brand, but it sounds like one of those Monster and Rockstar energy drinks, and I've seen those ones.
Oh, yeah.
They probably could have, but I never seen them, so I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, do you know Soa? Energy drinks.
For non-alcoholic. Okay. All right. So, of all the drum covers you've done so far, is there one that you love the most?
Actually, no.
No. We'll circle D. All the above. We'll just, if that's okay. Or is there a particular one yet, or is there one you have kind of like in the works?
Oh, I have one favorite actually. I think that when I did 1 year ago that Rats You're in Love drum cover, that made me feel really good.
That's a good one. I think the one from Rat I always known was Round and Round, but that seems to be like their big single, so I don't really know any other songs from them.
Yeah.
Even though, funny enough, they showed up in the commercial once where I think it was a Geico commercial. Yeah, it was those insurance ones, and they said they have a rat problem. It happens to actually be the band Rat playing in their basements. So
okay.
So that was interesting. So, all right. So, drum cover you love the most. What is currently your favorite song?
I wish I could open my
Playlist.
Spotify app and see what I've been listening, because I don't know.
Off the top of your head.
Yeah.
I guess we could label as genres, and then hopefully they might pop in your head at some point. But was it any rock or metal songs?
Uh, Maybe more lately, like rap songs or pop punk. And
I don't know. When you said rap, and then you start throwing in all the other genres, I'm thinking Rage Against the Machine, maybe. So wasn't sure.
uh, I used to listen that too.
Yeah, Rage is a fun band. So I guess to be determined. We'll just leave it at that. So
Another phone. Yeah, I wish I had another phone here, but yeah.
all right. That's are you able to find it, or do you just want to leave it as to be determined?
To be determined. What that means? Uh, to be determined.
Basically means like eventually we'll tell you when we know the answer.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
or maybe to be continued. There we go. To be continued.
To be continued. Yeah.
Okay. So all right. So Alex, we're almost reaching the end of my podcast right here. I guess. Do you have any final words? We did run through a lot of questions, but I guess did you have any other ones?
Final words or more questions.
Anything really? Yeah.
Uh,
You just want to say thanks too. That always goes a long way.
yeah. I'm really thankful of this interview. This is actually my first interview ever. I haven't even done interviews in my own language, Finnish language. So I'm really thankful about this chance.
No worries. And thanks for coming on too. And hopefully this helps break down some barriers, and we'll get better as we keep going along too. So, all right, we do got one more question, and this is one I always like to ask because I like to know what people's 2 cents are on this. What sort of message of hope could you give to musicians and people out there as we try to get back to normal past COVID?
I have one quote. I can read it.
Go ahead.
It goes like this: little progress is better than no progress at all. Progress comes in taking many small steps. If you stumble, if you stumble in a small step, it rarely matters. Don't give up to garbage. Let little failure go. Failures go.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, that's good. And spoken like a true prodigy. So, all right, sounds good. So, Alex, we've reached the end of my podcast right here. We've almost talked for a good hour. I guess, did you have any shout outs or any final words you want to say before we close?
I'm really thankful though, as well about that video, and I'm hoping success to all of you drummers out there. That's my
Shout out.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, you're good. You're good. All right.
Yeah.
So, everyone, my guest today was Alexander Lehtinen. He's hailing from Finland, and we actually broke down some barriers today, helping him improve on his English as we keep going along here, too. And subscribe to his YouTube channel. And what other social media platforms do you use so people can reach you?
I use Instagram at the moment only.
Oh, Instagram and YouTube. Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right. Alex, thanks again so much for coming on. Stay safe. Stay tuned, y'all.
Yes. Yes. See you.